Disney has become a woke and disgusting shadow of its former self, with people actually hating it. Must go back to what it once was.
Disney has indeed played a great role in our childhood for as long as we can remember. However, things have not been going so well behind the scenes for Disney. In a recent statement, the CEO of the infamous Disney Productions himself revealed a surprising possibility that has left fans and enthusiasts on the edge of their seats. Yes, you heard it right. Disney, the beloved kingdom of dreams and imagination, might be facing an uncertain future, and we might be nearing the end of this wonderful establishment. Over the years, Disney has contributed to the development of American culture. The Disney Store has established itself as a representation of middle-class families living the American dream. But as of late, it appears that the Magic Kingdom is in danger of collapsing because the majority of middle-class households are finding it difficult to afford Disney tickets. Disney merchandise and Disney streaming services are putting the business in a very difficult financial scenario as expenses are outpacing revenues. As it tries to weather the storm, the entertainment behemoth is currently grappling with huge, enormous losses that are causing massive layoffs, business closures, and internal reorganization. Many millions of fans would certainly be devastated to lose their local Disney stores in the months to come. As CEO Bob Iger has warned about serious challenges for 2023, fans were overjoyed when Disney began opening stores across the country in the late 1980s and early 1990s, so they could celebrate their favorite movie characters without having to travel all the way to the famous theme park in Orlando. At the time, prices were affordable and the company's products were extremely popular among Americans of all ages, which contributed to its success. Aside from its legion of fans, which contributed to the Disney Store's success was the fact that it was more than just a storefront with a few Disney goods inside. Rather, it revolutionized the retail industry by giving customers an experience that went beyond the actual products they were buying. These locations are special because TV is playing its classic films, interactive games, and life-size characters. Some have compared them to an early iteration of the Apple Store because of its cultural significance and its enchanted stories and magical characters have for American middle class. Disney's influence goes far beyond mere entertainment. It has shaped the cultural fabric of the American middle class in a number of ways. First and foremost, Disney has served as a source of nostalgia and shared experiences for families. With everything from classic animated films like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs to contemporary blockbusters like Frozen, Disney has captured the imagination and hearts of millions of fans for decades, becoming an integral part of the American pop culture. Disney films have established enduring memories for both parents and children, acting as a bonding agent. A trip to Disney parks is a dream come true for many middle-class families, signifying the achievement of a certain level of success and financial stability. The culture of the American middle class has been influenced by Disney's merchandising and consumer goods, from apparel and toys to home furnishings and accessories. Disney characters are already commonplace in middle-class homes. Within the middle-class community, the iconic Mickey Mouse ears, princess gowns, and superhero action figures have come to represent youth and innocence, as well as social identity and a sense of belonging. But as time passed and middle-class families lost their ability to purchase goods as they once could, the Disney empire began to disintegrate. Today, the few remaining Disney stores are mere shadows of what they once were, lacking the distinctive features that made the franchise famous when it was at its height, and they mostly serve as a marketplace for failed-to-sell merchandise from the parks and online. It seems as though Disney's magic has been no match for the economic downturn. But what could have possibly happened to bring down such a cherished store and malls across America? The answer is not straightforward, but it is abundantly clear that the company has succumbed to what made it successful in the first place. All the care that was put into its creation and management, and many of these locations have become too expensive to keep running. This is why comparable retail attainment companies like Warner Brothers Studio Store have proven unprofitable in the past. According to a report by Business Insider, citing research conducted for the outlet by travel agency Touring Plans, food and souvenir costs at Disney parks have increased by up to 33 since last summer. In contrast, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported earlier this month that the country's consumer price index stands at 5%, indicating that Disney prices are rising faster than inflation in the US. Examples cited by the outlet include started Mickey Mouse ears headbands, which cost about $5. As an example, the cheapest per night room rate at the Pop Century Hotel in Disney World Orlando was $95 in 2013, but rose up to $170 this year. 10 years ago, the standard room rate at the Animal Kingdom Lodge was $486 compared to $800 today. The study also compared the prices of Disney's most expensive one-day pass and reported that the ticket used to cost $129 but is now $800. Many middle-class families are now unable to afford to take their kids to Disney stores, parks, restaurants, and hotels, and some of the company's biggest businesses are closing this month. For example, the enterprise is closing its Star Wars-themed hotel, the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, just 1 year after it opened. Trips there cost as little as $4,899 for 2 people in a standard cabin, and could cost as much as $6,100. Recently, occupancy has plummeted, and Disney has had trouble filling even one dinner service. According to recent online reviews, the hotel appears to be nearly deserted, which makes the experience that guests are paying for less impressive. In addition, another Walt Disney World resort in Orlando, Florida, has recently been permanently closed, as reported by Fox Business. The company has also closed down several of its retail locations over the past year. For instance, all of the stores in Chicago shut down in September 2022, as did 4 of the 5 Disney stores in New Jersey, 11 of the 14 Stone Laws in the Los Angeles area, and another Disney store in Orlando outside of the Walt Disney World Resort was shut down in November, and the Disney Outlet store in Derry Township, Pennsylvania, shut down last month. The company also announced that all of its Canadian locations would close. You need to quit closing the stores. You are literally tearing my heart out. What on earth do you expect us to do? The user at Disney Store GBR inquired. Destiny Ramirez is also devastated by the closure of her neighborhood Disney store. A fan wrote earlier this month that the company had announced plans to close 20 of its physical locations by the end of the year as part of a new reorganization strategy. However, the closings may actually be the least of Disney's issues. The enterprise is dealing with a media business in disarray as cable subscriptions plummet. CEO Bob Iger has a lot on his plate with the still recovering box office mass streaming losses, skeptic shareholders, managerial changes, layoffs, and expanding labor problems with staff. $4.1 billion in revenue and $6.4 billion in expenses. The business is technically in debt, and in the most recent quarter, it recorded losses from its multiple streaming services, totaling $1.47 billion. Disney is expected to make structural changes and cost cuts, which will cause earnings to decline by nearly 30% from a year ago, despite high revenues, according to Jessica Reif Eilrich, a Bank of America analyst. Given that former CEO Bob Chapek was fired less than a year ago after Disney's stock fell due to poor financial results, Bob Iger may have already made the wrong assumption about the current climate. According to a report from Wall Street research firm MoffettNathanson, CEO Iger's return will push Disney to do an open and bold internal assessment of what it is currently functioning and what it needs to be addressed. We do not believe that one individual can single-handedly save the company. With 96 votes against a contract offer from Disney that would have provided unionized rank-and-file workers at Disney World hourly raises of at least $1 annually over the following 5 years, labor battles are becoming more serious. In response, the company has made a finance announcement that it will start laying off staff this month. This is the second of 3 rounds of job cuts before the summer that will result in 7,000 roles being slashed. The unions are demanding an immediate raise of $3 an hour for members, which is a 20% raise, with $1 an hour raise to follow in subsequent years. The unions claimed that the current wages of about $15 an hour aren't enough to live in the Orlando area, even when working full-time. The job layoffs are a component of a larger package of $5.5 billion in a cost-cutting initiative. We started contacting workers this week whose employment might be affected by the company's workforce reductions. IGA stated in the memo that leaders will be directly informing the first group of impacted employees of the news over the course of the next 4 days. A larger round of notifications with several thousand more staff reductions will take place next month, and we anticipate starting the final round of notifications before the start of the summer to meet our 7,000 job target. The executive added that as part of a strategic realignment of the company, which also includes significant cost-saving measures necessary for establishing a more effective, coordinated, and streamlined approach to our business, we have made the difficult decision to reduce our overall workforce by approximately 7,000 jobs. In the end, the difficulties faced by Disney are a reflection of a weaker economy. The high expense of living is robbing us of family-friendly activities that we used to enjoy. If businesses had the right conditions to thrive in the current environment, they wouldn't be passing along desperate price increases to offset their losses and to save their businesses, as Americans are forced to spend a greater portion of their pay on basic necessities and are left with little to no money for leisure and entertainment. The decline of this influential global media represents the demise of our society as a whole, since it exposes the dismal status of our economy and the disintegration of our middle class. Sadly, Disney is not alone, and we will continue to see more significant American corporations follow the same course. And with that, we have come to the end of today's video. Feel free to share your opinions on this in the comments section down below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next